Good morning, lovely tubers. White Mexican back in for another video. It is a beautiful morning here in the Pacific in Japan. I want to make this video nice, sweet, and short. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to try to make a video within 15 minutes, so I'm going to do a little bit of a rush here. So I apologize if I sound a little frantic. Today, I want to review just water deck stuff in general. Last couple months, I've been collecting stuff for mermills and Atlanteans, and I've always just kind of been into water decks, and I've always wanted to make just kind of a casual water deck. And I've been researching water cards. There's tons of them out there. This is really old. It's been around since like Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! There's a lot of cool things that are out there for us to utilize. So the first card here is going to be Spiritual Water Art Aoi. This is the highest rarity as a super rare from Astral Pack 2. It is really cheap right now. There's plenty on the market. As always, I'm going to be looking at near mint and lightly played conditions, 4 pages, and it's literally half a dollar all the way across the board, and then it jumps up to still under $1 at the end of the first page. So this is an awesome card. It's basically kind of opens up avenues like reminds me of Drag Down to the Grave. Just gives you options, lets you see what's in your opponent's hand, and you can rip one out of their hand. So pretty cool card. Moving on is Moray of Greed. This card is actually pretty expensive right now, even for the lowest rarity to common for starters. Overdrive, the Unlimiteds are like $2. The Astral Pack 1 super rare, which is the highest rarity, is about $4. And then there's, well, actually, I guess this is another common over here from the structured deck, which is a couple dollars. So all across the board, this is a relatively nice priced card. So this is kind of a more of a sell card. I would wait specifically. The only thing that I'd maybe consider was a super, but I personally wasn't comfortable with spending $4 for a super rare. But then again, it is an Astral Pack, which is pretty nice because there's not too many of those on the market. But it's just up to you guys, but you know, this is just draw power for water decks in general. I'm just going to click on this really quick so you guys can pause the video if you want to get the effect. If you guys aren't familiar, this is a pretty generic draw power card for water decks. Moving on, next card is going to be Salvage. I'm specifically talking about the highest rarity, which is a super rare from the infamous Legendary Collection 3 Yugioh's World. And there's plenty on the market. You're going to want to go for the first editions always, like always. You know, first editions for days. It's always what you want to do. And the first editions there's 2 here for 60 cents, so well under $1. There's plenty on the market here, 5+ pages, plenty of first editions, all under $1 for the most part. This is just an awesome card in general. It's really generic towards water stuff. I mean, you could rip any kind of types, and it's just a really great card in general for water stuff. So I'm just gonna put that out there. Next card is gonna be Legendary Ocean. This is basically the advanced upgrade version of Umi. Umi was kind of like the old school card that everyone used in like first generation Yu-Gi-Oh. This is kind of its predecessor. It's kind of really rendered the card, the original one, pretty inferior because it adds this little bonus effect of decreasing the levels. Pretty cool artwork and stuff. I was gonna show Umi, and you know what? I actually am. I'm just gonna show Umi really quick, and I apologize. This is gonna really kind of rip into my time here. The common original print commons from Legend of Blue Eyes are actually pretty good for collector's value now. More specifically, the first editions. They're actually quite a bit of money now. So this is definitely a good sell card. Again, if you want to keep it for like the collector's value, I actually looked at buying some first edition commons of this personally myself. But they're like a couple bucks. They're a couple dollars for the first edition. So I ended up not doing it. I am now no stranger to spend a couple dollars on first edition commons, especially if they're the old school commons from like Generation 1 Yu-Gi-Oh! that have the magic card stamp. I really like that collector aspect of the game. It's really unique to our game of Yu-Gi-Oh! And I really am into cards that say magic on them. So moving in here to Legend of Blue Eyes, I don't believe, if I'm not mistaken, there hasn't been a hollow version of this. This is definitely the best rarity has the magic stamp. It's from the first booster set, core set, in the whole entire game. Infamous Legend of Blue Eyes. But again, I would much rather play the Legendary Ocean. There's just kind of a little bit more diversity in that card. So I'm just going to dig through here. This is really going to kill my time, but I just wanted to show you guys really quick, because if you guys do happen to have these, I would definitely sell them, of course, if you're not attached to them, for nostalgia value. But this is going to take a while to find a first edition near mint or something. Okay, so lightly played. So this is the first cheapest one that's lightly played or near mint, and it's 149. So that is like the cheapest that you're going to find in that good conditioning. So you guys can do the math. You can research that a little bit more. When I play my water decks, I would definitely play Legendary Ocean over Umi, but Umi's still cool for like collector's value. That's all I'm going to say about that. Okay, so moving back on, and Legendary Collection, of course, this doesn't have a holo print either. It'd be really cool if it got like a secret rare reprint or something, but you want to get this original, and it's cool because it has the magic stamp as well, because Old School Legacy of Darkness core set. And there's some first editions over here, where the first editions are about 20 cents. I actually just bought some. Let's see here. So right here, there's like one for 24. There's more down the line, but they're roughly around $0.25 for this card. This card, I didn't get this card. This is a little too pricey for me at the moment. Of course, you want to go for the first editions of this. There is the original print IOC first edition Ultras. Those are really pricey, so I would definitely recommend getting this because it's cheaper and it's a higher rarity, and it's from the infamous Legendary Collection 3 Yugioh's World. If you guys watch my videos, there's pretty much not a single video that I don't do some kind of cameo to this set. I love this set as well as Legendary Collection 4 Joey's World. I'm going to get into this later. This is a pretty interesting card. But this card, the first editions, they're not too bad. They're like $2. That's actually not that bad. I probably should have picked up some of these. But so yeah, it's like $2 for the first edition secret rares of this card. This is pretty cool. I also looked into this card, kind of like the boss monster of this card, right here. But the way the summoning conditions are just too crappy. It's got a pretty cool effect. You can basically reset the game or blow up the field in hand. It's kind of like Chaos Emperor Dragon a little bit, but just the way to bust it out is basically you have to like tribute this guy, if I'm not mistaken, and you have to have Umi, and I don't know. I just like this effect a lot better. I just really like how this is kind of like a black rose without blowing itself up, and it's really cool artwork. So, I mean, there's that. I'm just not going to say too much about that. Moving on to Abyss Soldier. So, there's a couple different versions. There's a rare, there's a common. This is definitely the best version. Pretty pricey, too, but it's a really cool effect. You pitch one, and you can return any other card. It's an Aqua, it's a light, it's a level 4, it's an 1800. Pretty cool artwork. It's a DT, of course, so it's going to be highly desired. There's not that many on the market. Someone really is drying the well on this card. It's about $1.50 across the board, and then quickly starts to move into $3+ for the playsets. And so this is a really cool card. I didn't get any of these yet because of the price and kind of just the scarceness. I'm kind of hoping that hopefully maybe this is DT, so who knows, but DT6, I think it had plenty of disbursement, so maybe it will get replenished over time. Next card, I wouldn't personally run this. This is more just for collector's value. This is a really popular anime card, and it is really old school from Generation 1, Pharaoh's Servant, and it's going for a pretty decent amount of money, so if you have this card, I would definitely sell it. This is kind of more of like the cards I'm showcasing for sell value, and more so the first editions. If you guys have the first editions, I think they're about like 20 bones right now or so. And I don't know why this is showing damage when I have lightly played. Anyway, so let's see here. There's quite a few of these, and I don't know why my settings are not showing all these different conditions that I'm not trying to see. I don't know what's going on here. Hold on, I apologize. See what I'm doing on my time. Yeah, I only have 5 minutes left. This is going to be a little crammed. Okay, so yeah, you can see here it's about 3, and then moves into about 5 for the unlimiteds, for the good condition, and then quickly moves up to about 7/8, and then we get to the third page, and it gets up to like the 10 range. And this is our first edition, and it's sitting at 1550. So if you guys have this, of course, if you're not drawn to it or attached to it for like sentimental value or anime collection, whatever, I would sell it. If I had it, I would sell it personally. I don't know, but I just wanted to give you guys a little information. This surprised me. So I actually just purchased a playset of these for 7 bones each. And I was really surprised because I thought this being a super old school, and there's only 2 prints of this card. There's the rare from Force Breaker and the ultimate rare. And you know, its effect isn't that powerful. You pitch it and you get a legendary ocean. Okay, like we have terraforming. There's tons of different alternatives for doing this, but just the sheer fact that, you know, its stats aren't bad. You know, it's a 1900 attack. It's a level 4. It's a water. It's an aqua. It's an ultimate. That's the most important thing. Ultimates are getting harder and harder to come by. It's an ultimate rare, and I'm talking about for the first editions too. Near mint, lightly played. I don't know how many are going to be left here. This was a little while ago that I bought my playset, but the last time I checked, so yeah, right here, there's one for 7, and there's one here for 7, and then it goes into about almost 8, and there's 3 pages here. So this really surprised me. I thought for what it is, you know, it's not a blowout card, but for it being an ultimate and first edition ultimate from a really old school set, a really killer artwork too. So I think that's a pretty fair price for an ultimate. So I definitely pick up on these if you want to make a pretty cool water deck before they go bye-bye. Next card is going to be Drill Barnacle. This is a solo print only from Generation Force. I love that set. This was the set where we got, you know, the dawn of the XYZs. We got our first black cards. Really cool effect. I use this sometimes, and I'm a really avid anti-meta player. I kind of splash this into some of my anti-meta decks. And really cool artwork, solo prints, and the first editions are super cheap. They're like $0.25, plenty on the market, and this is just another choice that I like to use. For depending on, water decks are really diverse. There's so much support, you can really kind of go any what way with it. Deep Sea Diva, just an awesome generic water card in general. There is, of course, the super rare from Booster Turbo Pack Booster 4, which is about 20 bones. It's cool rarity, and it's cool that's from a turbo pack, but honestly, I would much rather get the Duelist Saga, the only set that has this really nice ultra rare foiling, and it's really cheap here. It's like $1. And I talked about this, I don't remember which video, but I've talked about this a little while ago, and how this set's kind of starting to dry up a little bit. I really want to make a video specifically on just Duelist Saga. And I actually apologize. My last video, I kept on saying Dual Power, and that was a mistake. I was actually trying to reference Duelist Saga, this set. There is a lot of really underrated cards in this set, and this is, again, the only set that had the special foiling for ultra rare, and I think it's really, really good for collector's value. And it just, as the years go on, it gets older and older, and these cards get harder to find in this rarity. So I'm going to kind of go over that in another video, but this is an awesome choice, and it's like $1. And this card all across the board, there's only 3 pages left, and this is just a really great card. So if you're not getting the super, that's really expensive, I would definitely get this. This is like literally super cheap for what it is. Really awesome rarity, really good card. And the last card is going to be Maiden of the Aqua. I think there's only 2 prints of this, both of them common. This one's going to be the better one. First edition, of course, because it's the original print from Pharaonic Guardian, another Generation core set, Generation 1 core set, really old school, really awesome. Not a blowout effect, not really a big deal. It's got, you know, 2000 defense, which is pretty cool. It's a water, of course, aqua, level 4, of course. Kind of silly artwork, this kind of carrot-looking anime girl, but I mean, it is what it is. This was just something that I thought of. This card as well, there's 2 common prints of this, but I mean, I just wasn't really too impressed for it. It's kind of like a, I guess like a 1 for 2, but you guys can look into this card too. There's a lot of these cards. I looked through all these recommendations and kind of just did squandering of different things, and these cards that I'm showing in this video is what I personally think it's worth it, specifically in my opinion. So this card, first edition, it's actually kind of expensive. It's like $1.34, and then there's only 2 pages left, so there's really not that many of this card left. and it goes to like $2. So I just thought that was kind of interesting for this card. So it's another alternative, and there's my timer. And she has a trident, so I mean, who doesn't want that? So another thing, the last thing, I know I'm hitting time here, but the last thing I wanted to mention is a while back I made a video about what I think collector value, potential collector value, specifically based on artwork. And I noticed that a lot of the cards that have maiden, of course, they're going to be female cards, and female cards are pretty popular for collector's value, especially when it comes to the art department. This card, I think the Unhappy Maiden, I think this card, it's not going to be used anymore. It's totally way, it's just not, I can't keep up with the current game state. But this has amazing artwork. I really love the artwork in this card. I'm pretty sure that we didn't get any holo versions. I know the OCG has at least super rare prints, so only 2 prints on this. I would definitely go for the original print first editions. Again, this isn't really a playable card, but I just love like the lighting and like how sad she looks, and like the auburn orange looking hair. It's a light, it's a spellcaster. Just, it's really great. And even though it's a common, it's still, you got to remember this is Metal Raiders, which I believe was the second core booster set that ever came out here in the TCG for us. Magician of Faith, I would go for the Duelist Saga one. The Ultra Rare Duelist Saga, super great card as well for collector value, and just an awesome card in general. And this card is, there's only three pages left, and I still haven't seen a first edition. The first edition is about 115, so really not a lot of 115. So if you guys go through your commons, I think potentially this could be worth some money. That's for collector's value for artwork specifically, but again, this is all speculation. This is all just me in my mind wandering in the realm of the Yu-Gi-Oh world. Moving on here. There was, this card is actually, there's a cool uncensored ship in an OCG. There's actually like more bust on that card. It looks pretty cool. That's another thing too. I really enjoy, I mean, I'm here living in Japan now, so I have a really large OCG collection that, you know, the uncensored and original artwork cards. I really do recommend if you guys can get those cheap. Those are pretty cool to have once in a while. Is it on here? The other card of this, Condemned, I guess I'm naming of Condemned Witch. That was the other one that had really cool artwork. But anyway, that's all I'm going to say about that. So yeah, water decks, I mean, they're fun to play. They're definitely not at the state where they can be meta, not quite yet. Once in a while, I guess the most popular is the Mermail Atlantean. Really expensive deck, but really awesome card. I'm actually trying to work on max rarity of that right now. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next video.